Okay, I'm going to pass the mic to these two gentlemen. I just want to set the stage, give you some context. This is GQ, former DPD Narcotics and Gang Squad. And then we have Courtney Brown, former Detroit narcotics salesman. So I thought it'd be
consultant, advisor.
I thought it would be interesting. No, but they're both from the same generation. Yeah. Two guys, real Detroiters who sought economic empowerment in different ways. GQ is a part of the backbone, like my father of Detroit. My father worked for the city 30 years. GQ worked for the city. Without the city workers, there would have been no Detroit.
That's a fact.
You guys hold the neighborhoods down and provide the city services.
And back then lived in the neighborhoods, which really brought some stability.
That broke the back when the Republican governor, that was Engler's thing.
Yeah, it was.
When he broke, or whoever the Republican was.
When guys like him were still in the neighborhood, this was a different
time.
time.
When they changed the law where you didn't have to live, that's what broke the back of Detroit finally. Yeah, like, for real.
Yeah. Right.
So I thought it'd be interesting. Courtney, we did a story, the $100 million block, and you had some run-ins with the guys, the cops at the 5th Precinct who ended up going to prison. Now, you weren't with those guys, but you were working the streets around at that same time.
Yeah,
and I thought it'd be interesting to hear from perspective of a cop who was a clean cop but a hard cop.
No doubt.
And what you think about what went on. So kind of you can talk about your experiences over there.
Well, yeah, we were just talking off camera. Crazy small world.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So GQ, Courtney Brown, they're going to talk about the intersection of the police and the street people. But of course, unfortunately, sometimes it's more like a Venn diagram where there's some overlap for some of them, but not for GQ.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in Monterey and Dexter in the early 70s and stuff like that. I lived on Linwood and Dexter, Joy Road, Linwood, and Dexter. Too many times in my life for sure, and I was in that pocket. But nevertheless, that I knew it was a vibrant city back in the 70s, and
vibrant neighborhood too, right?
Yeah, that's right. So folks really don't know the history. For those that don't know it, and out the country, Detroit was once the number one city for black ownership for
home ownership in the country.
That's right, but
out the world, yeah.
That's right.
And
so,
businesses, small business.
Absolutely. So the point is this: people like to get high anyway. So it's when people have the money to be able to buy something. It could have been marijuana, it could have been heroin, it could be a whole lot of things, and cocaine and stuff. And cocaine didn't come to after. And no disrespect to Richard Pryor. That's our guy for sure. He made us laugh.
Right.
But he started that freebasing things back in the early '80s, and CB, you know it.
Yeah.
So there's no difference between people who grew up the same. However, everything that's outside of that is not the same.
Well, I agree, and I think what you just said, and it's great to hear it come from a real policeman who's been out here. People gonna get high.
Always.
They was getting high before we came around.
That's right.
They still getting high after we stopped doing what we doing.
No doubt.
But it used to be a kind of code. Like me and Luden talked to me. I always respected the police.
No doubt you did.
Even when we was doing wrong on French Road.
For real.
We ain't had because y'all had a job to do. It ain't like we didn't know we was doing wrong. Right. Now whether we thought it was wrong, that's different. But we knew we was doing wrong. We knew it was a law. We knew y'all had a job to do. We had a job to do. It was the corruption part that kind of double dipped.
And most often, for sure, oftentimes we didn't grow up to be, because we have to swear to an oath. And I got to be real serious about this, and very candid about this, and transparent about it, because I never really sweared. I swear to protect and to save lives and things of that nature. But sometimes, growing up in the 70s, of course, and getting on that job, I had to respect the powers that govern over me to fit in. So a lot of my ideals and my ideologies didn't really come from what I wanted to project out here in the street, is what I had learned.
So by the 80s, you was on the force?
90s. I came on in the 90s.
So coming from the neighborhood you came up from, I mean, that was why you was basically ground zero, headquarters neighborhood of what would become the YBI situation.
Absolutely. 32, 34 Monterey, man.
So the people you grew up with was going to become some of the key figures that would end up becoming a legend.
Hey, they were teenagers, man. I love them. I love them to my life to this day, man. And I know they were out there in the streets. My father was a man. He was a stand-up guy. He drove a cab back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
He's my father. But he kept us out of that. But he always knew that we
lucky.
had. Oh yeah, but he knew that we. Let me make this very clear. I could come off the porch. After street lights, I was in the streets. I wasn't like before the street lights come on. What's the song? May God rest her soul.
What's that?
Street lights, only lights I know.
Only
Randy
light-
Crawford.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wasn't in the street. I ain't have to go in the house when the light starts.
But how did that affect you? So by the time you get on the force in the 90s, you didn't came up around real guys.
I had a passion for real dudes. Now, like you said back then, it was a code, man. You don't leave your friends behind, man. You stand up, even if you're willing to die for them. I was like that on that police department with my constituents. But we glamored the dope men back then. They real guys, man. I mean, they're human beings. So the point is not trying to be on the other side of the law.
With mamas that you knew.
That's right. Good mamas, man.
Good mamas. I tell people all the time in that neighborhood, man. Them people, most of those guys came from good families, to be honest.
Yeah.
With real caring, loving mamas. A lot of them fathers worked at the plant. The street life overwhelmed them and they got caught up. But it's urban fiction to think that every brother who get caught up in the street because we come from a poverty situation or mama was beating us or that. Nah, this town, and the lifestyle of Detroit, as she was saying, it was a black empowerment city.
It was.
Yeah, so was it when you got on, but definitely by the time you got on there, we had black police chief.
Yes, we did.
Black mayor.
Yes.
Black fire chief.
That's right.
And black guys in the street getting money.
Absolutely.
And I think the rest of the country don't realize what it's like when you are a black man in a city ran by black men.
That's right. So we and I'm here really, and I appreciate you, CB Jr., to allow me to come on here and to coordinate with you and to correlate with you about things. And people think that it's not always us, meaning the police, versus you and street hustlers and stuff like that. We have a 100% admiration for you all because, see, most cops, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, but I just got to tell you, man, we kind of model ourselves after the street hustlers.
Hold up. Say that again. What? What exactly? When you say what
we
specific
model
did you
ourselves after the street
what component
hustler.
of it? Not
Well, the point is not saying
crime.
trying to be like them, but see, I never really, you come on the job and can't have a felony. That's a no-no. Okay. Misdemeanors, they don't like that either. Domestic violence, you got to be squeaky clean. And back in the 70s, and this was an outline to set black folks from getting on the job too. Mm-hmm. Hey, you have to be. And they went, when they did that background check, they went back down and I went to Roosevelt and McCullough. Now come on.
let me keep it a buck too. I've been caught dirty and cops done gave me a pass.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm. It ain't all we draw this picture that no. I mean, I've been caught dirty and cops said, you know what, man? I ain't gonna even jam you up. I'm gonna give you a pass this time. You ain't You selling dope. You ain't hurting nobody.
Right.
We ain't doing nothing to no babies. We ain't doing nothing to no old folks.
That's right.
We doing what we doing, but we gonna give you a pass. I don't know if maybe they was busy, didn't feel like doing the paperwork.
That's how I too.
Could have been didn't want to do no paperwork. But a lot of it was just a brother like, you know what,
It
man.
was, yeah.
It was a respect level.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I don't see the interaction. You know what it is though? See, when you can police the neighborhood because you from the community.
Right.
You know who doing what. You know who's a predator in the community, and you know who's a hustler in the community.
That's right.
In fact, one of our favorite shows was The Wire.
The Wire, for sure.
And one of the cops who was a major in The Wire said that, the thing that he hated about this war on drugs is it stopped the police from doing police work.
Right.
Because now you done turned us into an enemy of the people.
Right.
As opposed to, when I was coming up, and seeing, especially in Black City, we know you young, you being a knucklehead, as long as it was somebody who looked like you pulling you over, you like, okay, what they gonna pour my beer out, they gonna take my little weed, maybe it was a little pop in the back of the head, but you wasn't that didn't happen here, man. That police beating that Rodney, that wasn't, we didn't have that reality, man, where we, at least back in the 80s and 90s, where we were like really in fear. The police, it was us. You had an auntie who was dating a police officer. Your sister might be dating a police officer. Your cousin might be a police officer. Because people forget that y'all was part of us. We part of y'all. It's the same community.
Right.
Yeah.
And the ethnic, being black, of course, sometimes, are you my brother, man?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Brother by color. You understand? I've been all around the world. I was in the military, for sure, for about 20 years. So I do know I can go anywhere in this world and I see somebody that look like me. Yeah. And no disrespect to no other race, but I'm just saying.
To Alan Bradley,
Mr.
Prophet.
We're going to
keep it 100.
No disrespect to him at all. He is our brother.
He is our brother, ain't no doubt.
100.
Yeah.
But the point is that you are my brother, man. I don't have no reason to do no harm to you. But I'll just tell you this, on the outside of everything, the police department, where it was constructed, we didn't create it, but we do know back in the way times of beginning of man, there was some law and order. But Benjamin Franklin created the outskirts of the police department in Philadelphia.
Is that right?
Absolutely. And for those who are history buffs, you go on, Google it, and half of us can Google it and find out that he was one. He was a very he's on the $100 bill. Right?
He's on the $100 bill.
Right.
Ben Franklin on the C note.
But on the C note. But the point is that's that white man's his consciousness. But I will say this. Hey man, it's been some things that the police department have done, man, all over this country, man, that wasn't always right and geared to against the culture of black folks. I gotta say that, man.
So with that said, and I know
policies though.
Times is changing, right?
Yeah.
Times is changing now. So, and I'm not. So you now you see so many white officers.
Yeah.
Policing still. So maybe the police department now is 50% white again.
It's coming.
Getting there, right?
Yeah, getting there. Right.
But the city's still 80% black.
Yes, sir.
And I just throw it out there. Black men in America still can't police white men.
No.
But white men still police black men.
Right.
And I'm not saying that a white cop can't be a good cop, because some of those cops that gave me a pass was white cops. Right. So I got to clear that up too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a white cop lieutenant caught me dead to right. I had got through the first pat down.
What time of the day? 3:15. He may have.
I was out tricking. His wife. I was out tricking. Might have been. But he saw my college ID and shit. And I got through the first pat downs when he did the other pat down in the interrogation room. He found the bag.
In your pocket?
About a half ounce.
Oh.
Half ounce hard. And he had already seen my Michigan State ID.
Not a half ounce of weed.
No, half ounce of yay.
Ooh.
Hard.
Ooh-wee.
Hard.
Oof.
I couldn't let you go with that, CB.
See? No, I think he was lieutenant. He was up there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah, and it wasn't
he probably
nobody
didn't-
around.
He probably didn't want to do paperwork either, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
right. He took the shit.
I think he did. I mean,
He dumped it in the trash.
he appreciated it, though.
He saw. Now, what happened after the trash, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Hey, right.
He didn't flush it. He threw it in the trash can.
Trash can.
Trash
Don't
can.
sound right.
He said.
So he said it somewhere else.
He said,
He said it
I ain't
somewhere
gonna,
else.
I ain't gonna jam
What
you.
year was that? I mean, what decade, if you don't mind?
No, it's 80. I can tell you exactly when it was. In the summer, beginning of fall, 87.
Hey, man,
It could have been.
I was in high school, so.
Okay. But it's been some brothers right there. Dexter Leslie.
Yeah.
Leslie,
Okay.
1 block off.
It wasn't Tommy Tinsley, was it? Number
was-
10 was a
10
oh,
was
that
horrible.
something-
Who was the
oh.
ones who were asking them, Pep and all them?
Dirty
That was
Red,
Red.
yeah.
Red was giving them the
Yeah,
blues.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was giving that.
Gave my father the blues, too. Man. I don't know why. He ain't find a diamond. Yeah. But I never forgotten that, but go ahead.
All right. 3875. Let's fast forward a little bit. By the time you was on the force, me and Al and everybody know my brother. Shout out to Eddie Baby, Real True Street Crimes down in Florida. You know, me and Eddie Baby go back to like pancakes and syrup. His daddy and my daddy go back to
Oh, yeah.
to
oh,
the
yeah.
40s and 50s. So
Yeah.
But anyway, me and Eddie started the spot there on 3875 French Road. We'd end up hustling there from, even after I left, we opened the spot in 90, and I don't think he closed the spot really till about 2010, 20 years. 20 years. It was like an institution. Yeah. I mean, it was a spot that had some days we did up to 50,000 in a day. It was an institution. It was a 20.
I heard that. I did. I heard that.
So let me tell you, that Pakistani run when Pops was getting the bag in from Pakistan, that's say from 90. Well, was you working in that area between 92 and 97?
92, I went on the job. I came in 1994, but I came to narcotics in 97.
So okay, so we was just ending the. So you would have heard about
What
the
we heard
numbers,
about, yeah.
the numbers we was ringing up.
Oh,
on French
man,
Road.
that's about the 38.
75 French Road.
I hadn't hit that number yet.
You've been
I've been
chasing
playing
it
that
too.
motherfucker for 30 years. You understand me? I know that motherfucker is in my sleep. But go ahead, man.
And shout out to one of my exes because her name came up
There
in
you go.
conversation.
There you go.
Shout out to you, Artie, my ex and Eddie's ex.
Could have been my ex.
And it was almost his ex. Crazy small world. She was a stunning woman though in her day,
Bad
was she not?
motherfucker.
She
Oh,
was a
she
stunning
was.
woman in her day.
Yeah, she was Jennifer Lopez before
Before
the
Jennifer-
real Jennifer.
Before J-Lo.
She from New York.
She's from. I met her. I brought.
Ooh, that was
Oh,
a
that's
bad.
the New York girl.
That's the New Yorker. I
Did she
brought her.
stay here?
She came here for Kevin Bauer. Shout out to the Bauer family. R.I.P. Kevin.
Oh,
Kevin
that's
Bauer.
Magnum.
Right, his mom, Darlene. Shout out to her. True, another Detroit
Darlene
legend.
Bauer. Now I know.
Clarence,
I
yeah.
know who that is.
Yeah. I brought her to New York for a party.
I bet you did.
They delayed the party.
I bet you did too.
She saw how
I related too.
She saw how it was going down here in Detroit.
Did she love it?
Never went back to
I
New
know.
York.
Yeah, right.
Ended up dating me for years. Ended up dating Eddie. And
I used to call her Divine Brown.
yeah, wow.
The whole.
So
crew.
you remember coming on the French Road?
I remember it oh so well. Yeah. We kept coming on that motherfucker, dude.
So now I gotta ask. I guess we can speak about. You speak about the parts you want. Did you know what Rice and Upshaw and Cartavelli and Cole were doing to us?
You know what? I was assigned to the 5th precinct. That was our precinct, but we were kind of New Jack. We went all over the east side. I didn't give a fuck what the dope was. I'll go west, outside of my homeboys on Dexter. I never wanted to do that. They're my homeboys.
right? That
man.
was gonna be touchy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They know my mom and all. It's just the thing of my loyalty to them. But I not saying I condone that type of shit.
But
down
I
there.
mean, you real. You grew up with
but
these
you know, I
guys.
say I didn't never want to raid down there, man. Linwood, Joy Road, Dexter, man, and always almost 12th Street, 14th,
Okay.
down in the Woodward. But to answer your
see.
point, man, I stayed away from that. But we went all over the city. But what was interesting in the 5th precinct, St. Jean and Jefferson, I had a lot of informants over there. I mean, really, because that's my assigned precinct. And when we, you get those complaints,
Okay.
Matt Gray,
Matt Gray,
Lil
Mac
Briggs,
Bewig.
yeah, all that, man. Going on all the way down
McClellan.
to McClellan, yeah, you know, you go Herbert and all that. It's
Yeah.
going all the way back and all getting farther, all the way down to Warren, I think. Chandler Road. You know, I think that's where the precinct. It was a pretty much big precinct back then for sure. And we had to answer those complaints. Benny Napoleon, may God rest his soul. That's my homeboy, our homeboy Dice. We love him to death.
Shout out to Benny.
Yep.
R.I.P.
And he going in good chief. One
Good
of the
man.
best.
Good.
Right.
A lot of family friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So,
A lot of good for the
and a
city.
good guy, man,
Good
for
guy.
sure. But he just wanted to stop the violence, man. You know, he really didn't. The drug part. He really
He was
didn't-
real with it.
Yeah, he like, hey man, people gonna sell their stuff like that. Don't be so hard on that. But
That violence.
it's a quality of life that we have to enforce.
Yeah.
You know, I say, CB, hey man, look here. I know what you're doing. I may not catch you all the time. Miss Johnson live right next door to you, man.
So now,
Oh, getting back to Rodney Rice.
but on how we had the longevity, you wasn't gonna do no purse snatching, no old folks not on our block.
They're not, right?
We was from a different
Good
school.
told, yeah.
I don't care if the crew working, if I'm on the block, if Eddie on the block, or any of our workers. If you see that old lady struggling with her groceries, you're gonna go over there and you're gonna help her with her groceries.
Right.
And we're gonna cut the line, even if somebody that fell off. Cause I don't understand. I guess we done somehow lost. We want to be the only people breaking the law on the block.
No doubt.
If you doing crazy shit and this violent shit, that bring unwarranted attention.
Attention. And see, oftentimes that I would go to the community meetings and I'll find out who, through the sources, who was the main guy. And I won't mention main guys. I would go to them and say, hey, look here, man. No violence, man. And look here, that's your grandmother, your mother, your sister, your niece and nephew. Hey, man, all that violence and the quality of your life, man, I know you want to sell your little things like that. I can't stop the alcohol. Alcohol and cops are big drinkers. I ain't trying to be funny now.
It's only the fact.
Hey, man, look here. And that kills you. Yeah, eventually,
Yeah.
it'll kill you. So the thing is, people they have the right to do whatever they want to do, in their life. Now, that stigma and stuff like that, how people need to be prosecuted about that, it don't have nothing to do with us. Got everything to do with, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, other people making them
Right.
decisions.
But getting back to Rodney Rice, man, hey, man, I don't condone people stealing no money, man.
Right, so, it's one day we on French Road. I'm in the house. Me and Eddie. He's smoking a blunt. I look out the window because we serve off the porch in the back door. I see the police car, scout car, that pulled up right in back of his. He was driving a white Trans Am T-top.
That's his civilian car.
That's his civic.
Yeah.
Okay. And I said, "Hey man, police out there!" I'm freaking out. I'm like, "I think we got to get out of here."
No, you don't.
That nigga say, "Hey man, Junior, just open up the drawer and hand me that bag."
Yeah, relax. Just be
I
cool.
said, "Man, did I hear what I said? Police outside." He said, "Damn man, just open up the drawer
A paycheck for
and
him. I
hand
know.
me the bag." He's still smoking his blunt. I'm like, okay, so fuck it. My friend then went crazy. I guess we got to go to jail together. 'Cause
Nah,
this nigga, no, he know what time it is. I don't.
Yeah.
I hand him the brown paper bag.
Payola.
He walked right out the porch, right out the front door, right down the steps, across the street. Rice and them rolled down the window. He handed him the paper bag, and he got back. I said, "Well, what the fuck going on?" He said, "Man, they been raiding us. Well, how long, Junior?" I gave up. He said, Rice and them say, "Man, we give them 10 a week. We can go 24 hours a day, every day."
That's
They
pretty much
can't-
true.
They can't do nothing about the raid van, but they not gonna give us no static.
Hey, man, look here. I didn't like the fact of me not going to, and risking my life to go into that spot,
But yeah,
and
with
for
all
nothing.
with all our booby traps.
Yeah, because sometimes,
door,
right, yeah,
door,
man, yeah.
steel doors.
And that shit is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? That shit was fucked up, man. I just, I know you want to protect, not you, but I know Rodney, I know how that shit works. That's why narcotics always been a centralized unit. We never dealt with the precincts like that. But case in point, I used to have some big raids over there, and the shit, I be coming up short, and throat be dry, get the news out there, and come up with goose eggs. I ain't like that shit, so I would always get on my informants, man. And not saying they were bad guys and all, or women, for sure,
A lot of women.
but you know what I'm saying. But it was dry, and I'm like, what's going on with this 5th precinct shit? someone.
It seemed like
yeah.
it got to be a slippery slope. Like they started off with just some shit you could understand, like maybe taking $1 here.
Yeah.
And instead of, they come with the fame, okay, well, your choice. You can give me the shit or you can go to jail.
That's right.
Now, if I was you, I'd say fuck this dope and money and good to go home. Or, okay, we can take the dope and the money down to the precinct. But then it seemed like, I guess, greed got the best. Greed.
It is.
It's a slippery slope because somehow
That's right.
it went from a little harassment and petty shakedown that all of a sudden it became a hustle. A hustle, yeah. And that's when it got twisted.
Just like gambling, man. And, and Benny Napoleon told me this, man, and I have to keep reading. He was
hell of a guy.
Yeah, he was, man. He said, look here, man, I'm going to put you in narcotics. I want to get down there so bad because it is something personal to me, man. My mother used drugs, but not an addict. Okay. But my family, some of my family members were addicts.
You can't escape that in this town.
But I just had a really strong dislike for the drug dealer that I didn't know. I know that might sound a little bit different.
I didn't like drug dealers. I don't know either. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what I'm saying? But
I know most of them. Thank you.
But selling to my family, man. There has to be a sense, even the hustle like that. All money, man. If you know that woman is pregnant, don't sell her no dope, man.
Well, I
think that's wrong.
My thing was, I never want to be the first one to get anybody dope. Now, if I come across you and you already living that life, but you tell me you ain't never got high, no, let somebody else break you in.
Let me ask you this, though.
I don't want to do that. And because I done have my own situations. I wouldn't wish addiction on nobody.
But if they have a child.
Nah, I ain't trying to serve.
That's right, man. There has to be a certain type of moral.
Got to have a code.
Absolutely. I can't stop you from...
Or you being greedy.
Right, exactly.
I can't stop you if you pregnant. I can't stop you from using. I just ain't got to be the one to serve you.
That's all I'm saying. That's all.
Because you're going to do what you're going to do when you pull off.
Right.
And you're going to call me every other thing but a child of God. But I can sleep at night.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I hold that as a higher threshold. Hustling, we understand about the hustle and shit like that. We do. But when it comes to certain type of things, man, and this come within, I think that's wrong. And
we used to bag up, and we used to talk this from both our fathers, and really the fat man, Eddie Daddy, we bag up $200-300 every day to give away, man. Mm-hmm. Because I never was a guy. How you spend your whole check with me, and now you $3 short, and I'm gonna give you, I don't even know how people do that, man. But again, that's go back to used to be a community because it ain't me just not taking a short. This is somebody who I know.
Right.
I know his brother. I know her sister.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That relationship ain't worth $3.
Right.
But somehow we've lost. We lost our way. So I think we need more community hustling. We definitely need more community policing and
It was just time to really tell a great untold Detroit story because it kind of covers Detroit at its zenith.
Very interesting story.
We decided that we were going to make a movie.
All right, Rich Rossi with you with Motown Mafia. I'm with Courtney
Lewis Stevens,
Courtney Brown,
Courtney Brown Jr.
And Alan Al Prophet Bradley.
And this is an entrepreneurial, inspirational story too, because again, I'm a real estate retail guy. That's what my skill set is. But I'm a businessman, so I was like, we're gonna do it. Sometimes when you got a dream, you won't have all the answers on how you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
What made this one unique was not so much the crime, but the intertwining with Detroit's history and the Motown era and kind of the economic decline of Detroit. And it's really the story of a family. And from some perspectives, has a happy ending, like you said. For others, it didn't have a happy ending.
Right.